I will get through a little bit of the background. Um, so a little bit about me, in case anyone watching this is not familiar with me or hasn't met me before, then I'll give you a bit of a background. So I am the CEO of the company Slack Consulting, who's hosting this mentorship program. It's a data management and kind of business management consultancy. We primarily do data management, but I also dabble in project management as well, and I've done a lot of business transformation projects and things like that. So that's usually where we're helping. I am CMP certified, so if you don't know what that is, Data International is kind of the global organization for certifying people who work in the data management profession. So that is their certification, the Certified Data Management Professional certification. If you've ever heard about the PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, or the PMP, Project Management Professional, it's essentially the same concept, but it's for data management specifically. I'm also the founder and two-time president of DAMA NCR. So that DAMA organization is international, and they have chapters all across the globe. So we have a chapter here in Ottawa that essentially helps build the data profession network. It helps kind of build our community in the data space. It's all not-for-profit, volunteer-based work, but that's essentially what we do here in Ottawa. I am also affiliated with DAMA I. Personally, I work with them as well on their board as the President's Council Chair, so I help coordinate, well, not really coordinate, but more so be kind of the voice and representative of all of the chapters globally. So that's what I do there as well. So very involved in the DAMA space to try to help build the profession. Also, educator advocate, yes, I do support with institutions and their data management programs. So I'm actually on the program advisory committee with Algonquin College. I have close networks as well with Queen's University, Carleton, building out networks there to help support any content that they might need or speakers they might need, or reviewing any work plans or any of their syllabus for any of their classes, things like that. I've helped in a bunch of different ways. So continue to do that as well. And then, yeah, global contributor. I do consulting with different organizations from everywhere. Primarily it's federal government in Canada, just because I am from Ottawa. But I've worked in, international contracts and in many, many different industries. I do coaching. As I mentioned, I was doing one-on-one mentor meetings for quite a while. That's typically how I've managed my coaching so far. I also help coach sometimes on client sites. If they ask me to coach certain people, I'll do that as well. And then speaking events globally, yeah. So I do go around speaking at conferences. A lot of the times I help support the DAMA chapters globally by going to their events as well. So that's a little bit of background on what I do in this space. Why mentorship is important. I am very invested in helping people in every aspect of life. It's not unique to data management and business growth. I just like to help wherever I can. That's just how I am. I've always been that way. I like to make people's lives a little bit easier. I like to teach people things. And so helping people advance in their careers is important to me in data management, but also if someone's an entrepreneur or if they're working anywhere really and wanting to kind of grow as a professional. I just love to help out if I can, or kind of be a person to bounce ideas off of. So that's something that I'm really invested and passionate about. I'm also committed to building community and global networks. Obviously, like I said, all the DAMA work that I do is all volunteer work. It's all about building community, and it is international. So, even traveling internationally to go meet these communities and help them build their events and their networks. I just really enjoy connecting people with the right networks and, getting everybody in the know with who's around in the data space as well. I do believe in the power of knowledge sharing and collective growth. I think that it's better for us to work collectively and share our ideas and have good, healthy debates than it is for us to try to work on our own. I think the best way that we grow and come up with innovative ideas is by running into problems together and trying to solve them. So the mentorship group is good for that. obviously, because it welcomes people coming in and sharing their knowledge, but also questions that they might have, and hopefully being able to provide them with knowledge. And then mentorship obviously allows me to guide, encourage, and inspire next generation for anyone who might be starting new in their careers as well. So we might have, and in a moment we'll talk about this, but we might have people who might be more experienced in their careers and they're just looking for someone to be a sounding board for ideas. But we also have people coming in who are new. We have students that might be reaching out. We have people who are doing career changes from one path to another. We have some people who might be wanting to start businesses rather than going through the employee route. I've spoken to people from all different walks of life and with all different backgrounds and stories, even chief data officers. I've spoken with them to help coach them with kind of getting into their own career paths or potentially improving their data programs. So it's all stuff I'm very invested in. So I'm excited about this stuff, and this is why I've offered my time to help other people in the past. Benefits of having a mentor. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that having a mentor, someone you can talk to, is always helpful. But just to call some things out, obviously gaining insights, knowledge, and lived experience. I think on this one, the lived experience is really important. I have seen a lot. I've worked in this space about a decade, and in the data space and beyond that, I actually did business management even longer than that. Maybe closer to 15 or so years. But I think having the experience, having the stories, and being able to provide use cases and real life examples is very helpful. I've been able to do that. Even as I've built out my own businesses, there's things you run into when you're trying to get those set up. There's a lot of challenges you can run into. It's just good to hear those stories and kind of help you avoid some of the traps you might fall into. But of course, insights and knowledge as well. If there's anything that's industry specific, then I can help with that too. But I really think the lived experience is important. Receiving guidance and encouragement in career decisions is obviously helpful. If you are confused or you want to hear pros and cons of a certain route that you might go down, or you're just kind of feeling a bit discouraged, especially in the current market and how things are going. I think it's helpful to see other people in the network, and not just for myself, but even being part of a mentorship kind of program. You get to be in a community where you can talk through those types of things and get guidance from each other as well. Building confidence and expanding your professional network is really important. Getting to meet other people who might be in similar shoes to you, who might be, going down a similar path. Maybe you can help each other out as you go along, or maybe you network and meet up with people who are advanced in certain areas that you'd like to excel in. Whatever it might be, just having a bigger, broader network and meeting more people is always helpful for that. Avoiding common pitfalls and accelerating growth. So like I mentioned, there's a lot of challenges in running business. And even just, again, in the data management practice and profession, there's a lot that you can run into there on a day-to-day. So helping you identify those sooner and being able to talk through those and hopefully accelerating your growth through those experiences. And then supporting with goal setting, accountability, and opportunities. So I think there's more opportunity potentially in the future for us to build this program out, as I mentioned, into more than just kind of monthly sessions. We'll look into and explore what different ideas might be. And we have actually already created some feedback loops, which we'll talk about soon. But the idea is we'd like to know how we can help you. And if we can give you different tools or have different ways that we can support you in, setting new goals or figuring out, maybe even exploring, what do you want to do? Where do you want to work? Who do you want to work for? How do you want to work? Things like that. Happy to help with that sort of stuff. Accountability as well, just checking in, seeing how things are going. These are different programs that different parts of the program, that we might be able to introduce going forward. So I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities there. So that's the idea. We do expect some stuff from you in exchange, of course. It's not like we're asking you to, commit a bunch of time to it or anything. But what we do expect is during our sessions, we would like to see active participation. It's good that you show up and listen, but we really do want you to engage. We want you to ask questions. We want you to bring questions. Um, really be involved. If I could, I'd have a rule of like no cell phones in the room while we're on this, but I can't do that while we're virtual. Potentially, maybe we do something in person in the future, and that might be a thing, but really not being distracted and being engaged is most important because this is obviously not just my time, but also the time of everybody else who's in the room. And if you're not going to be present while you're here, then just don't be present. Don't show up. It's a better thing to do. So we can all maximize the benefits. Being prepared. So this one is just an introduction session, but we have a means for you to be able to submit questions or use cases or challenges, topics, anything that you want to explore. So we ask you to kind of leverage that channel. We'll talk more about that and explain how you can do that. And Chantal will make sure that we keep that all coordinated for you. But the idea is if you come prepared with questions, it helps me then figure out which ones to go through kind of sooner than later. But also if there's similar questions, I can kind of bundle them and we can just eliminate redundancy and make it an efficient session. So definitely recommend doing that. Open to feedback, of course. We would like to hear from everybody and we would like you to also be open to hearing from everybody. So we want to make sure that if someone's, speaking, that you're listening, you're reflecting on what they're saying. You could also, if someone suggests maybe making some changes to how you're doing things, maybe you can come back and say what you've applied or learned from that. So just really making it more community-based rather than kind of shut down presentation style. It's better if it's more of a discussion period. We'd also like to engage and share. We want to hear everybody's perspectives. And even if that means collaboration offline, we are right now looking into getting a portal where we might be able to host and facilitate offline discussions and forums as well for our mentees. So we'll more on that soon, but we are exploring that, but we would like to see that kind of collaboration going on and hopefully building that network out. And then commitment, again, we want everyone to respect everyone's time. Making sure you're present consistently is important. When we have low turnout, that can cause issues. It may cause us to book these less frequently. So it's better if you can't make a session and you've asked to make a session that you just reach out and let us know. That way we know it's not that it's fallen on deaf ears, but that you just can't attend, and that's perfectly fine. It's obviously not a mandatory session. It's primarily for you, but what we wouldn't like to see is, of course, anything dwindling off because at that point we'll just choose to close the program. So making sure that you continue to show up, be present is going to be very important. Ongoing engagement tools. So a couple of things that you will see right away is we do have a feedback survey for these sessions. So you can go in and let us know how your experience was, what you liked, what you didn't like, ideas for how we might be able to change it or change the program in general. So you'll see that at the final slide in just a moment where you can fill that out when we're done today, but also we'll make sure we send it after each session. And then accompanying that, we will also be sending out a question form. The question form is where you can submit topics for discussion in our upcoming sessions. One of the things that I am mindful of is now that we're coming into the group environment, for some people there may be questions that are more personal. I've had it where I get into conversations one-on-one where we do kind of go down personal or more private information. We do not obviously want you having to share that with all of our peers. You are welcome to submit questions like that in that form still and just note that it is something that maybe we'd like to take offline and then I can visit that there because we don't want to expose any of your confidential, private or anything like that to the rest of the group. However, if we can generalize a question or bring some of those insights back, we will do that. We'll try to make it so that the questions are kind of applicable for everybody, that hopefully the majority of people can learn from each of the questions. So we'll go about it that way as well. But I just wanted to make you aware of it. So yes, this is our thank you for joining us today. I'm not closing it off right now. We can take questions in a second, but we just want to thank you for joining us, whether it's on the call right now or if you're watching this after the fact, that's okay too. But we really hope to have you kind of tag along on the membership, on the mentorship journey and be part of our group. And hopefully grow together and build our little community of professionals who are developing their space, their world, whether it's in data or project management or business transformation or whatever it is. That's the whole idea behind this.